Hi, I'm Kaylee, and this is my wrap-up or my update for the end of the Tome Topple readathon. I completely failed at the readathon. I completely failed. I mean, like, to the point where you could truly call it an epic fail. So my one goal for the Tome Topple, I had one goal, guys, was to read Charles Dickens' Barnaby Rudge. And I got to page 43. Look at that. That is pathetic. That is pathetic. You know, I love Charles Dickens, but the beginnings of his books, it's so much description, and he's introducing tons of characters. You can get a little bogged down in the beginning, and I thought that I could just make myself, push through it like I always do, and then once I get to the middle and the end, I really love Dickens. But somehow I just couldn't. I'm not really sure what happened. Maybe it was just like the pressure of having a readathon made me feel like it was assigned reading, and so then I just didn't want to do it. Like in school, when you have to read, then you don't want to. And I think maybe that's just the thing. I just wasn't in the mood for Dickens at that time. It just wasn't the right time. And the page that I got stuck on is actually the introduction of a new character, and it's like 2 pages of description. And I just got bogged down, and then every time I would try to pick it up, I'd read like one paragraph and be like, oh, the description, I can't. And I would end up picking up something else. I am gonna finish Barnaby Rudge. My new goal is to finish it by the end of July, because one of my goals is to finish reading all of Dickens this year. So I only have 3 Dickens novels left, and Barnaby Rudge is one of them. So I absolutely need to finish this month. I'm still reading. I didn't read during the Tome Topple. I mean, I did read. I read a ton of books, actually. I just didn't read this book. And that was really the thing. I kept getting distracted by other books. Let me just tell you, these are some of the books that I read. I started researching some gluten intolerance because I'm starting to think I might be gluten intolerant. I have an appointment to go to my doctor and see and get tested, but I started researching some of it. So I read Gluten-Free Girl, and I read Living Gluten-Free. I got both of those from my library. And then a friend let me borrow a couple of graphic novels from her that she really recommended me to read, which is Bird Boy, and I read volumes 1 and 2 and really loved it. I also got a graphic novel from NetGalley that I read like an e-copy of it, which was A Sea of Love, and it was just so cute and I loved it. I'm telling you, I kept getting distracted. And then one time I didn't have Charles Dickens with me, so I was like, oh, I'll just read something on my Kindle. And I read A Lemon and a Star, which is this old children's book. And I had already started, before the Tome Topple, I had already started reading Outlaws of Sherwood by Robin McKinley. And so I had to finish that before I could really get going with the Tome Topple. And then one night I wasn't feeling too well, and I was like, I don't even want to deal with Dickens. I can't even concentrate. I just want something fun and fluffy. And so I started reading Noel Streatfeild's Far to Go, because it was just an easy little children's book that I could read before bed and didn't require a lot of concentration. When I'm sick, I usually go for children's books because they're just easy and comforting. So I haven't finished Far to Go yet, but I'm like halfway through. So yeah, I read like 7 books during the Tome Topple, but none of them were Dickens. So yes. Please leave me a comment and let me know, how did you do on the Tome Topple? Or do you ever have this thing where, when you have to read it, then you don't want to, or you get really excited for a readathon and then somehow you just get distracted with other things? Leave me a comment and let me know if that ever happens to you. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe, and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.